And hey, welcome to this video. I'm your host, Data Gen Z. So here I am, starting a new season of this crap later than planned, as usual. Yeah, so back to your regular scheduled programming. Insane Edit right here. Bruh. So I figured it's been a while since I talked about the mainline Super Mario games, so I picked one at random. So here's New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's just get to the review. It's gonna be so damn short anyways. So after the success of New Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo DS, Nintendo had to capitalize on that by making a new 2D Mario game on the Wii. Literally. So yes, this is clearly a sequel to New Super Mario Bros., which means, like most sequels in video games, it's heavily based on the first game. But New Super Mario Bros. Wii is probably the most original sequel to New Super Mario Bros. DS compared to the two more games that came out in the New Super Mario Bros. Series later on. But still, saying Wii here is the most original isn't really saying much, because spoilers, I'm most likely going to have lots of trouble rambling about this and the other two New Super Mario Bros. Games as videos in the future, because there's nothing to really say about them. But anyways, the game's story begins in Peach's castle. Everyone is chilling as usual. The introduction of playable yellow and blue toads show up here. They are not only my goats, but they are also the lamest thing I've ever seen for a playable Mario character thus far in the entire series. Then this totally not suspicious cake reintroduces the Koopalings. So yes, the Koopalings return as bosses from Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. Now it's really cool that they finally came back here, but since they are both in tower levels and castle levels in the same damn world, every boss except for the low-key goated final boss is literally just the Koopalings with no differences for each certain Koopalings boss, except for the ground you fight on, and it really sucks. Anyways, Yoshi's return as well, and work just like they did from Super Mario World, but now with a flutter jump from the Yoshi games. But Yoshis in this game are just gimmicks for certain levels. You can't bring them along with you in other levels, you can only use them in the levels that they were made for, which also really sucks. And the mini mushroom returning from the first New Super Mario Bros. Game is fine, but as it's only used to find star coins now, and not full-on worlds like New Super Mario Bros. DS, it just feels like a last-minute decision to re-add this power-up. But what are the power-ups? Smooth transition from returning things to power-ups, right? So, other than the basic mushroom, fire flower, and star, we got the propeller mushroom, this game's big flying power-up. It's definitely the most simple to control flying power-up thus far in the series. All you have to do is shake the Wii remote and boom, you're flying straight upwards. There's the ice flower as well, which unlike the Super Mario Galaxy ice flower, this ice flower does this. Wow! And finally, the penguin suit. It makes the ice flower completely useless. Not only does this penguin suit have the ability to throw ice balls like the ice flower, but it has the slide ability like the blue shell from New Super Mario Bros. DS, which it controls a lot better in my opinion, by the way, and the ability to swim a lot easier like the frog suit from Super Mario Bros. 3. Well, here's a not so smooth transition straight into the new features of New Super Mario Bros. Wii that isn't the power-ups. Now, of course, the most well-known feature is for simultaneous multiplayer. I'd love to show off gameplay of that, but I don't have anyone that would want to play this game with me at the moment, so I might come back to New Super Mario Bros. Wii in a later video to talk about this. And as well, in the world map, you get to save Toads sometimes. It's literally just a side quest, so you don't have to do this at all. And you get to save Toads even more in a different style, and that's about it. But as well, we got a brand new move for Mario. I don't really know what to call this, so I'm calling it the air twirl, as the spin jump was another move that already existed in Super Mario World, and hell, was reintroduced in this game. So basically, the air twirl is used to stay in the air a little bit longer and help with landing jumps. It's a nice new addition, but it's not an absolute requirement for a 2D Mario moveset, in my opinion. So of course, because Mario has new moves, how does the levels take advantage of this? Well, they don't really use these moves because they're just optional. I honestly just said this for another smooth transition. Goddamn, what am I doing right now? Now, the levels in this game are kind of well designed and all, but they just feel really empty. And I think that's because of the 4-player multiplayer feature. This is the only way to make the levels work with the already crowded player count. But in my personal opinion, they should have just made 2 players at once to have a nice balance of cool new multiplayer features and levels that are handcrafted perfectly. So the only way I can have fun in this game is with 4 players at once, so there's something to do other than just holding right on the D-pad. But I have no one to play with, like I said. But these levels aren't the worst levels I ever played, don't get me wrong. I just like to yawn throughout these levels, that's all. So to finish everything off, I'd like to talk about the side modes, but those are multiplayer exclusive, so guess what? Chicken butt. Please laugh. So New Super Mario Bros. Wii is definitely a pretty good 2D Mario game, kind of. First of all, it is really bland, looking the exact same as New Super Mario Bros. DS, but just in a higher resolution. But New Super Mario Bros. DS isn't bland because it was the first to do this kind of art style, of course. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I think, shares the most similarities to the first game, at least from what I can tell by reviewing this game before the other 2 New Super Mario Bros. Games, so who knows, maybe this statement will change in the future. It has the same world themes, the mini mushroom, and nothing else. Okay, so that statement immediately changed. Yeah, I'm keeping this one in. This game, I can tell, could have made the New Super Mario Bros. Series a lot less unoriginal as it is. But they just had to have the same art style as the first game, and just had to prioritize the multiplayer gimmick over the actual level design. And that's all they had to change! This game would have been perfect. But no, the only fun way to play is with 4 players at once. But to be honest, I still do suggest anyone to play this, but I really hope you have people to play with for this. So that was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And like I just said, this game is literally just okay if you're alone, so honestly just interact with people unlike me. And yeah, to be honest, I literally had nothing to say about this game, so by the way, you can play with the nunchuck if you feel like it. Unless if you hate the nunchuck. Okay, yeah, to be honest, I need to talk about a more in-depth game for my next video. That works. Hope you're excited for next time.